You're welcome to the program once again. Now to our very first story. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly Task Force members were dismissed on Thursday, affirming the AMA's stance to sustain their decongestion exercise and to keep the city clean. Now the 11 are said to have been sleeping on the job, extorting money from sacked traders and hawkers on pavements for loitering around. Now, Dela Michelle observed Friday that the pavements have now been taken over by burghers and refused after the AMA stopped hawkers and traders from selling in these areas.
People continue to ask whether it's going to be a 9-day wonder. Well, I don't know of that, but you could see the energy that I have. Having walked around for the past 5 or 6 hours on the streets, clearly shows that I have the energy, the interest, and the passion for this exercise.
But this is looking like a 9-day wonder. Along the pavements of Circle on Friday morning, some traders could be seen peddling their wares but disappear as the day grows old. Where the traders used to be, beggars have now taken over, occupying those sections of the pavement. They are certainly competing with heaps of refuse seen dotting portions of the pavement. How the AMA hopes to stamp the authority is anybody's guess. But on Thursday, they demonstrated their seriousness as 11 of their task force who dared extort bribes from some traders so they could sell on the pavement were given the boot. The 11 are also accused of sleeping on the job and loitering. Public Relations Officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, speaking to GHOne News in an interview, expressed satisfaction with the level of compliance by traders to keep the pavements clean and free.
We want to ensure that we sustain it to the latter. So any of the task force guys who are not doing their job well would face the law, just as has happened prior to this exercise. What happened, if you are aware, the mayor himself dismissed some whilst we were moving on our monitoring tour. So it is an indication that we are serious with what we are doing to ensure that there is some form of compliance and discipline.
At least, even though the AMA hasn't achieved 100% success, the pavement Friday looked much more decent than a few months ago. Accra's pavements had become an abode for hawkers who had trooped to Accra seeking greener pastures. They did not only obstruct movement, but also messed up the place. The AMA's decongestion exercise uprooted majority of them, and pedestrians are happy.
Like how the pavements have done. It's so nice. We like it. Nobody's pushing us. We are not getting any problem. Once more, no, no, a bad trouble, a cabinet one, then in Biano Cadibicome, show pay a quayan, a canska, or banafia, go and can only buy your trouble. Yet, bell last coming where Lolland Town.
I was interested to know what happened to the goods seized from the earlier exercise. Gilbert Ni Ankra said the perishable ones find their way to the Osu Children's Home.
With the perishable goods, they are not returnable, but with those other goods, let's say clothes and those ones, you come to the assembly, you identify your goods, it will be valued, and then you pay a fine for that very stuff, then you'll be giving back your goods.
The decongestion exercise is expected to hit a market near you. Talk of Kaneshi Market, N1 Highway La Paz intersection, and even Choco.
Now, the Minister for Food and Agriculture has justified claims by his ministry that government's flagship program, Planting for Foods and Jobs, in its first year generated over 700,000 jobs. Dr. Uzoefri Yakoto has been speaking to journalists after the progress made so far on the Planting for Food and Jobs program.
According to the Agric Ministry, a year before the policy was implemented, a total of 134,000 metric tons of fertilizer were distributed to farmers. In 2017, the figure rose to 296,000 metric tons as a result of the implementation of the campaign. This contributed an additional 162,000 metric tons of fertilizer supplied to beneficiary farmers.
I'm happy to report that by our conservative estimate, a total of 745,000 jobs were created mainly in the rural economy during the period under review. In 2017, the figure rose to 296,000 metric tons. That's more than double, to 296,000 metric tons of fertilizer.
Dr. Akoto, on the sustainability of the jobs that have been created, underscored that farming activity is an annual phenomenon. To that end, as long as farmers who have been engaged through the increase in the additional cultivated areas continue to carry out their farming activities as the created jobs will be sustained.
200,000 farmers that we targeted, an additional 357,000 hectares was added to their activity. Each hectare of the additional cultivated area required the service of 2 farm hands on full-time basis throughout the farming year.
Now we'll continue with other stories. Here we go straight to Parliament, and the minority members on the ad hoc committee on the cash for seats inquiry has released a report ahead of the final report from the 5-member committee. Now the bipartisan ad hoc committee was tasked by Parliament to investigate the alleged collection of monies from some expatriate businesses to allow them to sit close to President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo during the 2017 Ghana Expatriate Business Awards ceremony. They have, however, failed to submit their final report after the postponing of the deadline has been undertaken twice. Now, the 2 members of the committee, Member of Parliament for Boliga East, Dr. Dominic Aini, and the MP for Ketu North, James Klute Aveji, have released their own findings after the inquiry. Here's a summary of the developments in that particular report. Well, so you can see right there the summary of findings from the preliminary report that the 2 members of Parliament from the minority side have issued. I think the very first development that they identify as far as the findings are concerned, the Ministry of Trade and Industry played a preeminent role in the determination of the amounts solicited by the Millennium Excellence Foundation. Again, they continue to state that the event had the President of the Republic as the center of attraction, and that payment for seats bore a direct relationship to the distance of the payer's seat from the presidential high table. That is also something that their finding came up with. Again, there was an evidence which shows clearly that Mr. Ashim Morton forged documents in a desperate attempt to cover up this blatant fact. That is also something that they are alleging as one of the possible findings from the report. It will be interesting to see if these findings are consistent with the bipartisan committee's final report that will be issued subsequently. Again, the report that they have issued identify that the Ministry of Trade and Industry contravened existing laws on public financial management by allowing the use of an existing account for the receipt of monies that it had claimed were private funds. Again, this is something that we would expect to see in the final report. Whether or not that's going to be consistent will be another conversation for another day, but I'll continue to monitor that. Ministry of Trade and Industry again engaged in serious ethical violations by allowing its credibility as a public agency to be used to amass profit for a private non-for-profit organization. And so these are some of the synopses of items that come up from that particular report. Again, the 2 members of the committee from the minority side identify that the group engaged in deceitful practices in the process of the organization of the awards event by selecting companies for awards, even when the companies had not fully submitted information meeting the design criteria, and also forged documents meant to deceive the committee and Parliament as a whole. So these are all very interesting findings that have come out from the report that have been issued by Dr. Ayini and Honorable Member in the person of Mr. Aveji Kluche, who have sort of given us some synopsis of what will be happening as far as the ultimate report itself will be concerned from the bipartisan committee. And so this is what that particular group has been saying. We'll continue to follow this development and bring you updates on this.
And the committee says two things about why they had to release separate documents. One, it says that the majority side on the committee had a patently, and I'm quoting here, patently clear position on, the
entire
issues
process.
of fact that had been, yes,
absolutely. So then what was the point
and
for the entire deliberation?
Secondly, the minority also thinks that the majority side glossed over matters, and so they were not happy with it, hence they
but this
decided
in
to
itself
release this.
appears to defeat the purpose of getting a bipartisan committee, because if after investigation, same facts that have been presented to both sides of the House, somebody arrives at one conclusion, the other person arrives, the other group arrives at another conclusion. Well, we hope to see
it looks like we'll need another independent
committee on that committee.
Here. Now, let's stay in Parliament. This time, we'll talk about issues around the sacked Upper West Regional Minister. The minority in Parliament has registered a dissenting opinion regarding the suspension of the Upper West Regional Minister by President Akufo-Addo. MP for Boko Central, Mahama Yariga, who spoke on the floor of Parliament, described the President's decision as unlawful and unknown to the Constitution. He further argued that the decision by the President is not in consonance with the Constitution's procedure to sanction ministers.
Mr. Speaker, if you look at our Constitution, Article 81, which deals with the ways that a minister can be dealt with, clearly you can see that minister may exit office by resignation, by the termination of the appointment by the President, in the unfortunate event of death. And the other way in which a minister can be dealt with is by a vote of censure by this House. So, Speaker, those are the known mechanisms that we can use to deal with a minister. The function of suspending a minister and then now investigating to find out what the facts really are is a strange phenomenon.
But the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei Owusu, rebutted the assertion made by the minority. He explained that the Constitution, in pursuant of Article 81 and Article 297, duly confers the sovereign right to the President to appoint and dismiss.
If anybody thinks or is like satisfied that the President is acting out of the Constitution, the person knows the appropriate rules to use. Otherwise, it well will take his power to suspend any appointee of his.
However, the Boko Central MP who initiated the submission hinted that, considering the unfairness of the matter, the issue is likely to head to court for the final resolution. The Upper West Minister, Suleiman Al-Hassan, was suspended after he was reported to have protected a group of angry youth believed to be members of the New Patriotic Party who besieged the Upper West Regional Office of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, on Wednesday. The statement announcing his suspension noted that his deputy will act pending the conclusion of an investigation into the incident.
We go over to the Ashanti region now, where the regional police commander has arrested some 3 officers of the service for freeing convicted armed robbers in Kumasi. Now, the 3 are Chief Inspector Kennedy Kwame Nyante with the Tredi Police Station, Inspector William Ama, who is with the Ashanti Regional Visibility and Detective Unit, and Sergeant Che Mensah at the Ashanti Regional Police Criminal Investigations Department. Now, according to the statement signed by the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, COP Kenneth Yeboah, the officers were arrested after it was detected that the 2 convicted prisoners could not be traced. Well, we have been joined over the phones by Ashanti Regional Police Public Relations Officer and the person of, we have been joined over the phone, by the Ashanti Regional Police Commander and the person of COP Kenneth Yeboah. Good evening and thank you for joining us, sir. Well, it appears we have challenges reaching out to the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, but the information that is reaching us as far as this particular development is concerned is that some members of the Ghana Police Service, 3 individuals to be specific, have somewhat assisted, and they have assisted some convicted persons to get out of some detention centers in Kumasi, and we will be reaching out to the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, and we'll try as much as possible to get you updates on this particular development and what is happening there. Kamini, this is very strange, isn't it? I mean, in a time where we're talking about, finding ways and strategies by which we make sure Ghanaians are safe, and, we get criminals off the streets, it looks like the police themselves are shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, we'll wait and have that conversation.
We'll have that conversation with them, absolutely.
COP Ken Yeboah. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break, rework those phone lines, and bring you that conversation. Stay with us.
Autistic children's dreams come true during Verna Mineral Water rebranding launch.
Most of the times, people ignore such kids and they tag them as evil kids or they are cursed and all that, but that's not true. Putting a smile on every child's face, regardless of their condition, is a major responsibility of our society, and I am pleased to be a part of this today.
In this life, the best thing you can do is to make someone else happy, or basically make people around you happy.
Drinking and buying Verna mineral water, you help many people out there, like our beautiful sisters over here, and all the many people that Verna mineral water helps. Here we go. Purchase a bottle of the all-new, sleek and stylish Verna natural mineral water today and support a worthy cause. Verna mineral water, changing people's lives.
Because of my taste, I'm trusted amongst them all. Others say I taste good amongst them all. Some say I bring out the best amongst every individual and unite people. They've crowned me queen amongst them all. Sophia rice, starchless, highly polished, and comes out one after cooking. Choose the queen amongst them all. Sophia rice, Papanu Jinemusa.
The Ghana Trade Fair Company, under the auspices of the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the One District One Factory Secretariat, welcomes you to the 22nd Ghana International Trade Fair under the theme Industrializing Ghana and Creating Jobs. It will be 1 week of exhibition and enterprise from February 28 to March 7, 2018, offering manufacturers, suppliers, consumers, and various service providers the opportunity to network and make sales. The Presidency urges you to support, partner, and explore the opportunities available.
For inquiries, call 0241-818-658, 0244-173-127, 055-247-4632, or visit tradefairgh.com.
The 22nd Ghana International Trade Fair, industrializing Ghana and creating jobs.
Jame, therefore, ma yawo brings you. Na fe yemu so mo kwan.
Say the therefore say no. Wada wo ma, manento nana say, ensu asem de mo ha na okra ye ba no, ye de ensu ba.
Adai se waba efie a wa se yanyama mu nsuo nom no wo so di nsuo bai ene sai
na eti amra
odefo yesre wo nsuo we eye ahemfu nsuo a ye de afa mfidie mu aso ne so aye ne kroji a Free Kingdom Beverages Limited, King's Drinking Water.
Bye man. Ensuo na de
Adampa
King's Drinking Water mpa ene na King's Drinking Water
ahifusio de
We are different people, but we are all connected by blood. When you save a life, you save an entire generation, including yourself. Be the reason why life continues. Donate blood on the 14th of February 2018 from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Save a life, brighten lives.
1 year, more than 10 million Ghana cedis slipped through the fingers of 2 toll booth officials. 6 years down the line, little is known if these officials have been prosecuted or made to refund the taxpayers' money. Have the loopholes that allowed these individuals to milk the states been sealed?
What is there to scare the people at the toll booth from doing the wrong thing?
Join me, Samuel Lancelot Boatin, on GHOne News Tonight. I shall bring you this exclusive and investigative piece on corruption at toll booths at this time and date, only on GHOne TV. GHOne News, news you can trust.
Now, welcome back to the news here on GH1 television. Now, before the break, we were trying to work the phone lines to reach out to the Ashanti Regional Police Commander in the person of COP Kenneth Yeboah to give us some updates about some armed robbers who were convicted in Kumasi who have been aided by some members of the service to us at Web Break Jail. Sir, if you can hear us, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Good evening. You're welcome.
Great. So, first of all, you have a struggle dealing with armed robbers in this country. In the last couple of weeks, we have seen, an uprise or an upsurge in robbery activities across some of the regional capitals. Here, you have succeeded in apprehending some of them, and some members of the service somehow have managed to help them break jail. How did this happen?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, what happened was that we arrested 2 armed robbers. They were taken to court. They were convicted to 1 to 10 years and another 11 years. They pleaded guilty, so they were convicted, and that was in October. So all along, we all knew they were in prison until I had information that the convicts were not in prison as expected. So I quickly conducted an investigation. That was yesterday, and lo and behold, it was established that the investigator did not send the suspect to prison, but let them loose or handed them over to the parents of one of them. And so quickly I detained him, and then I caused the arrest of the parents, who also happened to be police officers, 7 police officers. And we have been able to arrest one of the convicts. We are also trailing one, and hopefully I'm very, very sure by the close of today, early dawn, we'll be able to get the other one.
Okay, sir. So a quick clarification. So these, if you like, robbers had parents who were police officers. Is that what you're making us understand? So that some members of the police service who ostensibly should have given them off, if you like, to prison, to the various prisons that these people were supposed to be going to, handed over to their colleague police officers who were the parents? Is that the case?
Yes. Yeah, that is the case.
But what usually is the collaboration between the police service and the prisons, the prison officers, when such transitions have to occur if robbers get convicted? What usually must happen?
The procedure is that the police are responsible for their the investigation, and until they are convicted or either they are remanded by the court. Then if they are remanded by the court and it says that they are remanded to prison custody, then the accused persons are taken to prison custody. Or if they are convicted, then they are taken straight to the prison custody. And so until they get to the prison custody, they are in the custody of the police. And then once the court gives an order, you have to secure a warrant so that you attach it, and then when you get to the police, you get to the prison gate, you give it to them. And that is going to tell them how long the person is going to be in custody. That is in the prison custody.
Okay, so to follow up from that, should the public be worried? Because here you have a case where some police officers have decided not to follow due procedure as far as the apprehension and dealing with armed robbers are concerned. Should the public be worried?
To some extent, yes. To some extent, no. Yes, because definitely they will get worried. They would not understand. Personally, when I got the information, I couldn't believe my ears. I didn't know whether it was true or not until I got the guy and he admitted. I didn't want to believe it. These things existed, and so it had actually happened. And so that is what. But the other side, why I'm saying that the public should not they should actually have confidence. But when it happens, actually, I set up investigations and we've been able to arrest, and then all the perpetrators are going to be held, going to be tried. For the
somebody would ask that these police officers would have had superiors who should have ensured that they did the right thing. So granted that they didn't do what they were supposed to do or didn't follow due process, somebody else should have known as far as the chain of command was concerned. How did they miss this?
No, you see, if you don't know something, you have to find out what actually the procedure is before you come to a conclusion. The procedure is that the police officer has sent somebody to prison, has taken somebody to court, he returns from court, and then he informs his boss that yes, I took the people to court and I have won conviction. And so what is expected of him is that he has to write a report, a long sentence report, take their fingerprints, and then we forward it to Accra. So he told the officer that yes, I have taken the people to court, the court has convicted them. And so the officer requested or demanded that, where is your report? And he said he was going to bring it. And then he tried to find out again for me whether it was ready. And he said, I'm going to court. When I come back, I'll give it to you. And so that was the whole thing. So once he has gotten the conviction, and then once he has actually told the boss that, yes, I have done this, and this is what I'm expected to do, and then I'm going to do it immediately. I don't think we can blame the officer that he didn't do what was expected of him.
It is a little strange because the officer should have demanded to see the report. In this case, well, we appear to have lost COP Kenneth Yeboah, but he was giving us some reactions to some police officers who appeared to have aided some convicted armed robbers in Kumasi for breaking jail or acid, not having even been sent to the prisons at all. We'll continue to follow this and bring you updates on that accordingly.
Away from security, the Vice President joined Muslims at the Central Mosque for Jummah prayers earlier today. Dr. Muhammadu Baumia, who returned from a 12-day medical leave in the UK, appreciated the support and prayers offered him during his sick leave.
I'm so grateful to all Ghanaians, all walks of life, all religions, churches and mosques, for the prayers that they have done on my behalf when I took a medical leave. I'm so thankful and grateful for their prayers, and I'm happy that I have come back, inshallah, in good health, ready to continue work. When you go around, you take your health for granted, but it is when you don't feel well that you appreciate what God has actually given you. And when God gives you good health, you really have to appreciate it and look after your health.
Well, you're still live here on GHOne Television on News Tonight. Time now to bring you developments around the business community and the economy. With Kwekutimi, as usual, on the standby.
Patrick, a very good evening. Many thanks for joining us with some latest business updates. Not forgetting adorable Kemeni Amano. Definitely Kemeni will be preparing something tomorrow, Saturday. So I'll get to the markets and get you updates. But if you're thinking about transportation to the markets, well, I'm announcing ahead there could be price increases in petroleum products if government does not intervene. We have this and other interesting details coming up shortly in business.
Business Brief is brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you. We're looking for you, the next millionaire. We know of your stressful routine. From those 12-hour flights across the Atlantic to your hustle through traffic every day. From burning the midnight oil to that laptop that never sleeps. We know where you are in life. And we know where you want to go. Let us take you there. Thinking investment? Think Dusk Capital. Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Henry, what is wrong with you and your laptop? It is not working.
Hey. What at all is going on in this house?
Your son's laptop is not working and my phone.
Me kai me mo frabrim. Na me mama de me ko Freddy's corner. Enti ene eye manager. Se me di Freddy's corner ho dance e. A chere mabusia. Na de ba ko a me kai wo Freddy's corner. Eye se de wo siti wanim. Ejeji wo customers. Se eba mobile phone, eba laptop papa, camera papa, the PlayStation Freddy's corner aha in the wall. Se ko ba to mobile phone say, o camera say, o laptop say, and our PlayStation. Me ha ho kra. Freddy's corner be try you go amount. Freddy's corner, your home of authentic mobile phones and accessories.
All right, so we're all set for the latest updates of business stories, and here fuel prices are expected to increase with the opening of the first pricing window in February. While some petroleum analysts believe prices could go up between 2 to 3%, crude oil prices on the world markets shot up to $70 last week before reducing marginally to $69. Analysts attribute this to the constant rise in crude oil prices, which is currently selling at $69 per barrel on the international market. Finished products including gasoline and gas oil prices have also gone up on the international market, and this is likely to reflect at the local pump station with the opening of the new pricing window. Currently, a litre of petrol and diesel is selling around 4 cedis 62 pesos at some major fuel stations, a move analysts fear could trigger a rise in consumer inflation. GHOne Business engaged principal research analyst with the Institute of Energy Security, Richmond Roxon, on any possibilities of government interventions.
There's this component, price build-up, that's price stabilization and recovery levy in the price build-up. And that price stabilization and recovery levy is meant to stabilize or standardize price when prices are going up. On each gasoline you buy, you pay 12 pesos. On gas oil, you pay 10 pesos. On LPG, you pay 10 pesos. So as at when government feels it wants to intervene, it reduces the price. That's the price stabilization, reduces it so that will capture or that will take care of the increase that is supposed to happen on the market. So yes, we are expecting the government to be able to tweak the price stabilization margin so that it can absorb the cost in this particular window.
We question if the time was up for government to scrap the special petroleum tax to help ease the burden on consumers.
It is important that the reason why you introduce a special petroleum tax, since it's been dealt with, should be taken off to give consumers some respite. If that is taken off, that's as of now is around 54 to 60 pesos. If that is taken off, you can imagine the impact that it will have on pricing. As of now, prices are averagely 6 4.63 per liter on the market. If you are taking between 54 and 60 pesos, that means you are coming around 4 cedis, which is really significant for consumers.
All right, let's now move on to the international front and get some updates of the USA's relation with some African countries, which includes Ghana. Now, the US has imposed sanctions against people and businesses in Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Lebanon over their alleged links with Hezbollah.
The 6 individuals and 7 businesses affected are believed to be employed and owned by Adam Tabaja, one of Hezbollah's most senior financiers. They are now subject to trade bans and asset freezes as part of the first of a series of U.S. sanctions against the Lebanese Islamist militant group. The Trump administration feels former President Barack Obama was too soft on Hezbollah because he didn't want to worsen relations with Iran, which supports the group. Speaking anonymously to news agency AFP, a senior administration official said today will be a very bad day for Mr. Tabaja. The financier is thought to operate across the Middle East and Africa, raising funds for Hezbollah.
All right, so just before we wrap up, I know Ghana's finest bachelor, Patrick Stephenson, will be trying to prepare his favorite garden egg stew. I didn't do him bad. I went to the market to get him some updates of prices ahead of tomorrow. Let me give him a feel of exactly how much he could get for tomatoes. So looking at the small paint bucket, tomatoes would cost within 15 Ghana cedis. Now, once he has his tomatoes, he will definitely need some onions. An onion is going for 10 Ghana cedis if you're looking at the small paint bucket. That could actually be used for 3 weeks, so he wouldn't have to shovel between the marketplace and then back to his home. But if you're looking at getting some pakoshito to spice that stew, then obviously you're getting one olonka for 20 Ghana cedis. And these are updates you'd always get from GH1 Business on a typical Friday, because we'd want to make sure we go to the major markets, Agbogloshi and all the likes, to get you the latest prices that you get. Well, I talked about garden eggs too, so you obviously expect me to bring some garden eggs. The price of it, the small paint bucket is going for 12 Ghana cedis. Well, Patrick, I've done you all the good. You have the updates right here. Coming here, man, over to you.
It's obvious you don't do.
You just had to put me on the spot, didn't you? But great prices all over the weekend, right?
I'm happy you didn't use me as the example. Then I could unleash my friends.
Why are you being mischievous? I'm good and I can prepare stew. So Kokutevin, thank you for the updates. I'm sure there's a lot of Ghanaians who are equally eager to see these prices. But this brings us to the end of Business Desk Capital. It's just around the corner for you.
Business Brief was brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Welcome back to News Tonight. It's Friday. Let's let our hair down in E-Zone.
My angel. That is exactly how Yala referred to her manager, clearly showing how unbothered she is about dating rumors.
You are my angel. You are my angel. You are my hero, sent from above.
Well, you heard the song, and now you know that the angel refers to Riala's manager, John Sharon. The energetic performer says he has been a major pillar in her career and went ahead to call him rare.
It's not easy to come by people like that these days in this industry. It's either they are telling you this is what is trending, so let's do it, dress like this, you know, let's sing like this. But for you to meet people once in a while who like they tell you be yourself. I don't really care what is trending. I know you have something great to offer, and not just in your country but worldwide. People must hear you. And he loved the way I think big, I dream big. sometimes sound impossible, but it is possible.
I need a man to rock my body. A big strong man to rock my body. And if he's ugly, I don't mind. He has that thing and I want to grind. I want to grind. I want to grind. Yo, I want to crush his body.
Wiyala, who is noted for her culturally unique lyrics and consistency in the use of local languages in her songs, stated that she had grown past the male-dominated industry idea some female artists hold on to. She said regardless of the demeaning and demoralizing comments thrown at her, her resilience and determination to succeed has been her ultimate goal.
I'm not out here to outshine anybody. Others too will say, well, you are just not pretty enough. You are not light-skinned enough, or you look like this. You are not in, who's going to listen to you? Sisala will not work. Those days I was told Sisala language is not work. Wali language is a bit too hard for you to even break it down. But I think I've broken all those barriers, and here I am.
The Lioness of Africa, she calls herself, further stated that she will continue to promote Ghana and Africa through her songs, and that is a service to the nation.
Na, Adjoa, and Rachel coming over? What to do? No worries. Serve your girls with a 1.5 liter Coca-Cola value pack for 8 Ghana cedis only. Recommended retail price. Now available in 0 sugar.
We are different people, but we are all connected by blood. When you save a life, you save an entire generation, including yourself. Be the reason why life continues. Donate blood on the 14th of February 2018 from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Save a life, brighten lives.
You're still here on News Tonight. We're live on GHOne Television, DSTV Channel 361, GoTV 179. Let's turn attention to some other stories now. Mango sellers at Somanya in the Yilo Krobot municipality want government to set up a processing plant in the district. It follows the huge post-harvest losses of mangoes during peak seasons. Mango business is booming on the Somanya roadside, but with a high risk. William Evans has the rest of the story.
Mango is one of the most popular fruits on the Ghanaian market. The taste for the tropical fruits is high. On the main Somenya Road, two types of the mango species are found here: the Kent and the Mangifera, also known as the Saloon. The demand for mangoes have created employment for a section of the Ghanaian public. Gifty is barely 3 months old in the business. She tells me she began with a startup capital of 900 cedis, but in a space of 2 months, she has lost 200 cedis. 2 days ago, she disposed of a full bucket of rotten mangoes.
So the mango business is booming here at Somenya, but the business risk is also high because the tropical fruit is a perishable one.
She is in a depth of despair because her only hope rests in the direct consumers, but even that is not assured.
Ebi wa hwa asanyame be mu yebetimi ato anyame be ma ya nya yesika no ahye no ebi nso asamarket na nkoyia unya ba obenya kakra ba asamarket no ekoyia betimi aton anya mfaso.
The one district one factory policy is likely to be the solution to Gifty's business plight. I met the municipal chief executive of the Yilo Krobo municipality to find out if a mango processing factory is on the government agenda.
Under the One District One Factory, we have received 2 proposals. One is going to use the mango to produce powder, mango powder. One is turning it into chips. They brought the proposal, the technical committee in my assembly studied it, and we sent to the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and it has been approved.
With no clear sight in when a mango processing factory will be established in Ogome, Somenya, Gifty and her business mates will have to adjust to post-harvest losses for some more years. William Evans Inkum, GHOne News, Ogome, Somenya.
Now, the Star Women Dream Edition team is set to hold its first regional stakeholder fora in Savelugu and Yendi in the northern region. Now, the fora will take place from the 15th of February and end with a mentoring clinic for differently abled women on the 22nd of February. Now, ahead of that, however, the Member of Parliament for Savelugu, in the person of Mohammed Abdul Samed Gunu, pledges unflinching support for the project when the EIB network team paid a courtesy call on him.
The event, Star Woman Dream Edition project, seeks to empower women entrepreneurs with disabilities to defy the odds and become successful at running businesses. The aim is to promote awareness of the systematic challenges facing women entrepreneurs with disability in the country, with selective focus on 6 districts in 3 regions. This year, the project will focus on Savelugu and Yendi municipalities. It is for this reason the team paid a courtesy call on the MP for Savelugu. The team presented a copy of a survey report which puts the spotlight on the challenges of persons with disabilities in northern Ghana.
They're young, they are women, and they are disabled, and so their needs are peculiar. So that's the reason we're here. We need your support. We need you to also lobby your colleagues in Parliament that, yes, you passed this law, 715, the Disability Act, but the provisions, moving it from law to enforcement, is another story altogether. And we want to be within that space of connecting the dots, working with you and all the agencies involved in making that dream a reality.
MP for Savelugu, who commended the EIB network for this initiative, Mohammed Abdul Samed Gunu, also promised to rope in his colleagues to support the project.
Most grateful to Star Dream Edition. I think this is a very laudable project that is in line with the government vision, and it's about time, once identified the talented ones, to be able to support them, to also get to wherever their talent will get them to, because disability is not inability.
The Star Woman team also paid a courtesy call on the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations. Adams Abdul Wahab is the communications officer.
Star FM Star Woman Dream Edition, I think, is a very powerful and excellent and important project. Once it is focusing on women, and especially women with the disability, we will give our support to the program and also help to promote the program and support it to achieve its intended goals and objectives, so that persons with disability, especially women with disability, who are among the most vulnerable in Ghanaian society, will one day be recognized so they can enjoy their dignity.
The stakeholder fora are to kickstart activities in the northern region, where the Star Woman Dream Edition project has identified a population of women entrepreneurs with disabilities, their challenges and other important data on their operations in a bid to mainstream the activities, thereby reduce the level of deprivation among Ghana's most vulnerable population.
Coming up now is International Brief. Now, disgraced U.S. gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar's court hearing took a poignant turn when a father of 3 female victims attacked him. The father had to be restrained by 3 court security officers. The dramatic intervention brought Nassar's final sentence and hearing on sexual abuse charges to an abrupt halt. The daughters, Madison and Lauren, had testified about the abuse at the hands of the doctor while he was doctor for the U.S. Olympic gymnastics team. Larry Nassar was sentenced to 175 years in prison after 160 of his victims gave testimonies of his abuse.
Now, we go to South Africa, where it appears the woes of President Jacob Zuma is never going to come to an end. Now, a motion of no confidence against the president is requested by opposition Economic Freedom Fighters Party led by Julius Malema will come to the South African Parliament on the 22nd of February. Now, this will be the latest in a string of such motions the embattled president has faced since he took power in 2009, and whether he survives as president until South Africa's general election in 2019 remains to be seen. Now, calls for him to step down have intensified since Cyril Ramaphosa took over as the ruling African National Congress's leader. Meanwhile, it has been reported that Ramaphosa and other top ANC officials have been discussing the future of President Jacob Zuma.
Let's check out the weather for the next 24 hours.
Sports Brief is up next. Now, the Ghanaian Malmo FC winger Kingsley Safo has been detained by the Swedish police again for alleged sex crimes. Now, this is the second time the player has been accused of sexual misconduct. Malmo FC suspended the Ghanaian international indefinitely after he was arrested over allegations of rape last year. Now, the police report says it is another rape case against a girl under the age of 15. Kingsley Safo was picked up by the police in Stockholm on Wednesday.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports has summoned the Ashanti Regional Director of the National Sports Authority, Joshua Mensah, to explain comments that the Baba Yara Stadium would be closed down on Saturdays to make way for funerals and other social activities. In a statement signed by Deputy Sports Minister Pius Enam Hajide, Joshua Mensah will be made to explain why he should not be sanctioned for making public comments of such serious nature without authorization. The Director General of the National Sports Authority swiftly jumped to the defense of his subordinate, insisting the comment does not represent the view of his outfit. But the Sports Ministry is dragging Joshua Mensah to the capital to explain himself and convince them.
Well, all but too soon. The weekend appears to be on the horizon, right?
I know places where the weekend starts from Thursday.
Starts from Thursday?
Yeah.
What are you doing for
Just
this
take
weekend?
a drive around town here. Every Thursday,
Every Thursday?
Yeah.
It starts popping.
This weekend is pretty busy. You know, we'll be paying our final respects to Francis's dad. On Saturday. And so I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So, thank you for